Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Midnight Brands, and we're getting ready to go ahead and start our prep for this beautiful Monday morning, February 27th, 2023. Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Midnight Brands, and we're getting ready to... And we did that part again. Sorry about that. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. It was certainly nice here in the beautiful Central Texas area. Looking overnight, looks like we had some good stuff here. Indices kind of bouncing off, continuing really kind of the trend they had before. Held overnight or Friday's gap fill. Looks like both ES and NQ. Looks to be the same, although they don't have the same indicators up for YM, RTY, so looks pretty positive, I would say. Before we get into the other pieces there, I'm going to go ahead and spin this up. And I'm going to do one other share screen here, folks, for just a quick second. Alright, we'll see if anybody joins that one there or not. So I mean, looking at it here, we've got it's kind of interesting. We're kind of above the pivots already for ES SPY, UPRO, as well as NQ, the Qs. RTY is getting way. It's really starting to get extended and start to push there. YM would be the weakest of the bunch from taking a look at it there. And we did actually roll our ZB contracts this weekend. Up to you guys if you want to keep them or not, but we chose to roll our ZB contracts. So you got those there. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Gold, sold off a little bit more overnight. Held a really nice zone that we'll get to here a little bit later on. But so far, everything seems to be coming into some good sell side signal zones across the board. Apple is just a little bit away, but I tell you, you got Apple, AMD, Amazon. Pretty much everything's at the upper edge of their first zone. So should make for an interesting morning here. Really want to take this and try it as a short, but also cognizant that Apple's got a bit more room, and the VIX futures, VIX itself, as well as UVXY, still have room to their lower end. So with that, I guess we will go ahead and get started here. We'll begin with UVXY. Looks pretty straightforward from glancing at it earlier. Not going to include, there is a potential ABCD on the daily, but it just didn't it just didn't really terminate anywhere of significance. You could, I guess in theory, draw one like this, go up to here, from there to there, and then from here up, which does end nicely actually at WTGR2. We are coming down though, so that's the thing that gives me a little bit of pause is, we could be really kind of setting up more for something like this. Everybody's really wanting to see some bearish stuff and whatnot. So it's just quite interesting. We'll have to see how the day plays out and what opportunities present themselves to us. So for UVXY, going to keep it hopefully pretty clean, quick, and simple here. Try to get through some of these actually quickly enough and go from there. So it would be a bit outside. Don't really expect it, but it's there as a potential zone. We have this guy here, TGR full ADRs, cheat full day. Below that, we have this zone here, which shorten up a little bit. Kind of treat it like this. Would not care about trend strength, especially because we're already dancing through there. We cut through it so quickly this morning. This is a nice bigger zone though. 20-day daily anchored VWAP. I mean, that's a nice kind of setup zone there. Watch this guy, and then would watch this one, and that would be pretty much it for me for the day in watching stuff here on UVXY. Okay, let's go ahead and move over to the SPY. Actually, no, sorry, VIX first, and then we'll go over to there. So VIX, as usual, good bit of zones here. This is one we've been talking about for a little while. It's coming up there. On the daily, there was an ABCD, if memory serves here, that we've already filled. Yep, pretty much filled that. There may be a secondary one, though, if we check this. This guy did not quite pull. Well, I guess it did pull back 50%. So then that puts this guy up here like this. So I have to keep an eye on that, although it is down here already close, as we just mentioned, close to trend guide, so pretty close to that one down there for sure. Okay, so for this VIX, I'm going to mark it pretty simply, I think, here. It makes sense. I'm going to treat this as one big zone. I'm not going to pay any attention to this at all. Could treat it like this, actually. I think that's how we'll treat that one, come to think about it. Treat this one here like this. This is a nice big fat zone here. Below that, you've got so for here, we're going to highlight the QPP WTGR2. Further down below that, we're going to collapse these two here like this. But we're not going to grab the entirety. We're just going to grab and go from this wick here. And then here we get the MTG, Dottie. Yeah. I think those are good views to take and check out there. So go ahead and paste this. Hit up SPY. SPY is also gapping up, as we mentioned before. So 398. Yeah, it's, in fact, it's like we'd mentioned, it's above its trend guide for the day. clears this, and it's got some space up into the 50-day swing anchored VWAP, which you can see is just right here above gap fill, actually from Thursday. And then above that, then we got space really until this next area here. So nope, doesn't hold there. Does it hold off of any of these? Nope. Does hold off of that. That's interesting. It'll be interesting to watch and see how this reclaims today over the. Does it reclaim that daily anchored VWAP 398.03? Obviously, we're above that now, but I mean that's right this very second. Looks like we may be getting some response here from the upper edges of the zones, which would be nice. And then I say that, and I see we start to pull back just a tad there. So this really, these zones down here are really kind of brink in my mind. Like, man, we don't hold them, and we are just failing big time. Yeah, I mean, we lose this. I don't know if I'd care about this as much. I think I would actually take this, because that photo ADR is actually going to slide up into this. Well, it depends on how we actually open. And there is econ today as well. So econ wise, where is it? At 7:30 you got durable goods, you have cap goods. It's 10 a.m. These are Eastern times here, folks. You have pending home sales, Dallas Fed, industrial production is late tonight for Japan. There's also some other news I saw here today too. Wrong window. Yeah, so durable, whole bunch of durable goods, non-defense goods. There's a couple of, that's France. Has some pending bond auctions. Yeah, Fed Jefferson starts talking at 9:30. There's also Dallas Fed Manufacturing Index. Interesting. Okay, so definitely some good opportunities in there this morning to get some volatility. So should be interesting to see what and how everything plays out. Okay, so moving back to SPY. It's interesting how it held this wick down over here. I mean, damn near to the T. So I think actually I would ignore that zone there and watch and pay attention to 392.99. It's a dollar zone, but I think that's what I would watch for the day. And actually I would take this and drag it down to include Friday's lows, the candle from back in late January, 391.77. Yeah, I don't see anything else lining up in here, so I mean, there's definitely this zone though that you don't want to lose sight of. So I would probably treat that more as a div than anything else. Okay, so I think that will do it for us for SPY. Go through that one fairly quickly. Although it's still about 5 minutes per chart. That's a little bit longer than I'd like.
Minimum $100 per ton. It says that the minimum base price for hot rolled steel now $1100 per net.
So this was WTGR1 and day one sheet. And then here we included Friday's low, January structure, 200-day between zones. I think that is good for that one. I'm going to go back and post him. The cues are already prepped by a great mentor, friend, hopefully. Yeah, so they already talked through the cues. We'll just pull it up for a quick second and glance at it and see if there's anything interesting in here anything else that we want to note or pay attention to. So I'm not going to spend long here on the cues, then I'm actually going to go off of mute on my other channel side there. There are definitely some things that get taken out that are no longer valid here. So just double checking and seeing if we have any channels or anything else that could be interesting. Doesn't really look like it, so I'm not going to bother with any of that. Looks like it's pretty clear zones, right? I mean, we got yeah, I mean, it looks like it's pretty clear zones to me here, really. So, you got some nice zones on the upside there. full ADR WTG, but we're already into that 293 area, so we're already up into this zone, which is kind of, I mean, it's not really brink per se upside, but there's a lot of open space there between the two of them for sure. So, be interesting to see how that plays out. I got this nice, beautiful double gap fill down here. Would definitely be keeping an eye on. I would not want to take my eyes off of this. And then you got this bigger zone down here. Quarterly trend guide, 50-day, 200-day. This is a massive, massive zone. Yeah, that's a really big zone. You have 289, so you have a day VWAP coming right in here into this area too, just a touch lower. So it's a pretty nice view there on that one. We'll probably get rid of this. It's just not that important in our mind. And since we're gapping up, that really cut to us kind of takes out this one. I mean, there is the high daily anchored VWAP off of that one up there, last week's highs, some structure, but would really probably just think about it and drag this up to encompass some of it and call it a day, and not worry about it as much. If we do come up here, then I would watch for a possible div here at this day 2 cheat and see what and how that plays out. Okay, I think that will call it for us on the Qs. Let's go into the ES side. Oh, nice. Does look like we may end up pushing. Okay, so ES. We're already through the first tier of daily cheats. Coming into the second level, this 4009. You need to double check and see where does this actually anchor to. So I'm gonna take that, come over here and paste in. Definitely some structure and stuff back through here throughout the time. So I want to make this one not a daily and attach it, or excuse me, not all and just attach it to the day. So that's why this gets picked up as a zone. It is super tight though. I think I would actually drag it up like this. And then this is a massive zone here. Right, because this has got the 50-day swing anchored VWAP. Yeah, that's just a pretty big zone. And then above that, you've got an even bigger one with WTG1, photo ADRs, coming up quickly underneath that to the full ADRs, bottom edge supply and demand. 40-50 has been a pretty big spot too, if I remember. Yeah, 40-50 was a good spot. I could have sworn off some volume profile, maybe just further back than what I have on my chart loaded there. This is definitely a big area to me in my mind on that side there. And I would actually take this one and I'd drag it up. So yeah, I think that's an interesting one there. Let's take this up a little bit in case we decide to take out the downside. So below we've got definitely some nice ones there. Those photo ADRs are going to keep sliding up really. I think that's how I would pay attention and watch the ES side here today. So you got the big zone up above, right, with the annual pivot, 20-day EMA, last week's highs. Yeah, last week's highs, prior week's lows, and then you've got the top edge of the supply and demand there. Below that, you have full ADRs, you have some structure at the 40-48 level. And let's just see where that lines up for everybody's benefit. Also going to check the 40-38 one there, just to see if they're actually still valid, useful, or anything else. It's that low there. I don't know if I care about that as much really anymore. I mean, yeah, again, it's there, but you can make shit up out of everywhere. So let's check 40-38. I think it's covered off already by other stuff. I'd rather watch this 40-34 level in my mind, really. Now, saying that, let's go ahead and put it over here on this chart. Let's get rid of this 40-38. And man, that just looks cleaner, actually. So I think actually with that, I would drag this down here like this. It's another 40 points from here, and it's really nothing. I mean, yeah, granted, we've already gone 24 points on the day, but man, we're starting to push here. And we did reset on the symmetrical extremes on the 20-day. We came back and did a clean reset on the 50, dipped a tad bit below there, and I've already kind of pushed back a bit there from it. Yeah, I think that we're going to call that one there for ES. I'm going to check one other thing here on the weekly. Okay. And then let's mark one other set of things on the upside here. That would be an absolute devastation of bears if we decided to trade up to 4,100. Zones that I'd be watching and thinking about. So Yeah, I'm not sure actually if how tough I'd watch this one. This is inside of yesterday's stuff, so it's not really one that I want to try or play around with. Um, may look at this MPP one, but I think I'd rather really go after this 4022 area. And actually, this one here, the more I look and think about it, I would definitely go after this. In terms of grade setups, to me, like I'd take these two. You have to see where I mean, the rest of breadth, all that stuff looks really good right now to take the short, but it seems strong and keeps pushing. So it's that good stuff there, but it's inside yesterday's, really kind of inside some of Thursday's there too. So is this zone really? I mean, we're all through there. So potentially the 50-day swing AV WAP one right there with the swing AV WAP coming from February 16th at 2 p.m. And that doesn't really hold, then you start watching this higher level here. Below that stuff, I mean, I would have to see how everything else lines up here. If you want to try that kind of retest of the 200-day, maybe we actually do a higher low and print right off of the end of day or daily cheats along with TGR. So that could be an interesting one. Otherwise, we'd be watching these two down here. I would definitely want to play off of them, because now you're getting into some deeper stuff. You're doing potentially the retest of this downward slope here. So I think that could all be could be interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and take that. Okay, so moving on, we're going to go hit up NQ. Nice. I like the way this one's carved up. But the thing I worry about with this is that kind of potential setup. Because we could potentially play out through either one of those. So, but it is nice we're playing and holding really right off of that. I wonder what if we put a day VWAP here. Yeah, that's not bad. But really holding that 50-day on the NQ side there. We're coming really close to the OpEx cheats. So we'd also pay attention here on this one. Oh man, that's gonna be a bigger zone. I think we'd watch it like this. Gap fill, WTG. Problem is this is a freaking massive zones, right? So you got 868, call it 870. It's a 50-point wide zone. maybe would watch it like that actually instead. Full ADRs, we keep pushing. Full ADRs are going to come up and slide into here. So, we did. We printed a low right there. That's interesting. Okay. What you doing? Yeah, see again, this stuff here is just all inside of NQ's candles, so interesting, but don't know how much I'd want to watch, pay attention to, etc. There's definitely been some nice structure over in here with this stuff, this 12-145, 12-118 level. We do, and these hourly candles appear to be wanting to wick away from WPP and the end of day, or excuse me, tier 1 day cheat there. So, and you know, potentially even set up for something. Kind of a shorter time frame, ABCD down. So we do start fading. I think I'd definitely be kind of wanting to watch that. That'd be devastating to bulls to come back down and visit that 11.7. Now, what is nice is, and I have to watch again. This is super early, still testing this out, validating it. But man, that this bottom area here, this is the OPEX cheat stuff that we've been testing out. So that should be pretty interesting to see what or how that plays out. But yeah, like that's potentially not looking. It's only 300 points, so that's really brink. 600 stuff. I mean, now you're coming back down into this area here. 680. Yeah, that's interesting actually, is come all the way back over here. Yeah, I think that's all I'm going to mark on this one. I definitely would watch this bottom area. This to me is a 1. We want to see where everything else is. What are we actually doing and such. This is definitely a 2. Would probably treat this as a 1, especially if we do tag the end of day dotties, but be careful because this could just be setting up for a brink to come down and test this lower area here. I'm, as much as I probably should take something in this area here, I just don't like how inside it is. The previous day's ranges here. Again, it could be setting up for a nice cont, which will then make me cry that, you know, potentially left 200 some points on the table, but it's just inside of the range for the last few days. So, but it is. I mean, it looks nice with everything kind of setting up in that area there. So, I'm gonna mark that off as NQ there. That really is kind of a big zone though there. The fact that we're already way above trend strength, I actually would keep an eye on this here today. It's a 0 or 1 to me, but it's still. This is an added zone, WTGR1, Tier 2 day sheet with possible gap fill div just above. Okay, then we've got RTY. Man, gold looks like it's crapping again. What's CL doing? If gold's crapping, what's CL doing? It's trading in about a buck range. But gold's kind of rejecting. We'll see this when we get to it. There's been a intraday trend line, and it came right up to it and pretty much rejected that. The bottom edge, the trend strength reference point zone. So it may get another opportunity off of its bottom edge zone there. Should be a nice one to watch. RTY. We'd marked this last week. I'm going to just take it off so it doesn't cause confusion and problems. Scale this out a little bit. Properly mark my ABCDs. So that way if I quick glance at them, I know what the hell it is I'm looking at. Okay, so this looks interesting as I quickly glance through it and speak without fully getting the details. So we've already traded 60 points, sorry, 13 points I should say. This would be a pretty massive move. There was some news, if I remember correctly, like Pfizer was buying somebody that was decently weighted in XBI, and XBI is a key component of RTY. So I don't know if I would care about this zone as much. I think I would actually watch this here. and watch it like that. And take this one up here to grab supply and demand. I would actually take this down and just grab the top edge of the daily anchor VWAP there. Why is this one marked? So this one's marked because you got a high weekly anchor VWAP, February 2nd day VWAP, some structure at the 1940 level. Yeah, I can see that. But it's so close to this zone here. I don't know, would you really pay attention to that or just... I don't know. I think I would more watch like this. I mean, it is a div area. I think I'd drag it up a little bit here. Grab that February 2nd day VWAP there, the 1940 level area. Treat it a little bit more like that. Is I think how I would watch this one for the day. As you probably did notice, I didn't mention this, but our good buddy Cesar's not feeling well today, so hopefully he gets to feel better here soon and can rejoin us. Obviously, we're flying through these with not talking as much because there's nobody else here to talk through them. So hopefully he feels better. He had a little bit of a bellyache and wasn't feeling good. So that's why he is not with us today. So hopefully he's feeling better here tomorrow and can rejoin us. I think this could be actually a good one, and would watch kind of this area here actually. I don't remember what we marked on ES for that one. Interesting TSRP, swing AV WAP, 50 day. To watch this area. So yeah, I think that could be actually an interesting one to keep an eye on and watch there on that one for the day. And now I'm gonna go flip over to YM. These are going a little bit faster this morning here too, folks, because I actually came in this morning and found the computer had rebooted itself, which really kind of sucked because it was in the midst of running a backtest strategy analyzer for us. It was got through all the indices this weekend and was in the midst of doing the backtest on CL, which was a bit of a longer one, and we'll have to see if it actually finished or not. But in any event, as soon as it came in, kind of kicked off and ran all these zones to give us the calculations and stuff ahead of time. So we had them fresh and handy for everybody this beautiful morning. So I would adjust this actually here like this. You could call this kind of a secondary anchor VWAP there and watch that, and yeah, I think I'm glad I'm not touching these. I think this is really kind of the area that's going to be needing to be watched today. This to me is actually a pretty big zone because you've got the OpEx cheat in here, and granted that is something new that we're playing with. But that to me is actually pretty big, that you have the potentially OpEx cheat down in here. You also have the tier 1 day cheat right in that area. And then just below that you have this WTGR1, which is really close to this. I mean, you could pull them up into one big zone. If that's, you know, how you want to think about it. You really start getting a lot of shit down here from the looks of it. Right, you got the 200 day. I mean, these get to be some really wide zones. Is my problem with doing this. But could just, you know, treat it like this, I guess. That just feels like a really wide zone. I think I'd probably treat that more as a div almost. This to me is the area though to watch with. This is the box that we've been trading in forever. Trying to bounce off the 30-week SMA there. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what and how all this area here plays out as you bounce against that 30-week SMA. Right in that area. Again, just broke below the box. And maybe we do come and back test the 200 day here and then really get going. But it's interesting nonetheless to see what and how this one's playing out. I'm going to check one other thing here. Yeah, don't care for any of that stuff there at all. And this guy here is absolutely trash now, so taking it off. The 20 days obviously going to keep falling, you know, based upon how we trade today. So would see this as a potential div area there, and I think that's how I'm going to write up and call this one. Also going to note this kind of inside area here that we've been trading at. You got the gap fill in there too. I think we'll call that one with YM. Really try, like, it looks like it's trying to stall out here actually now. So gonna have to watch and see. Again, this isn't, it should really be a zone, and this probably be something I end up journaling, but it's just not one I really want to play with, unfortunately. So here we actually combined these two into one. And we did not go down to grab, did we? Yeah, no, we did not go down to grab WTGR2. We did add a couple other things in here on these ones though. So in this one here in the full, we added plus W-TG1. Also wider zone. That's a pretty clear zone, this MTG1 photo ADR. Yeah. Okay, and then gonna hit up GC. And CL if I can find them here in the list. There's GC. It is coming into a buy-side symmetrical extreme after such a perfect reset off of the 20-day. So pretty nice on that front there. And as I was noting before, it is failing a bit there. It is really trying to, but I guess you could almost say this kind of looks like a bear flag. It's interesting, the tier 2 day cheats right there at the photo ADR. It's kind of an interesting zone there in our mind here. We're going to pause for just 1 second, folks. We'll leave you with the music. Just need to check and make sure that we got folks up and moving around here in the morning. Perfect. Everybody is up and moving nicely, so don't have to worry about yelling at people to get their butts moving to get ready for school and work. So let's see here. Gold. And we had a buddy of ours last week give us a pointer on gold here too. The range point of control. Wow, look at that. The range point of control from where we were trading back here in December and kind of this box here. So the point of control for this area here was right in the 1807-ish area and what it was trading from December 1st to December 29th. So really from here all the way over to this date until it finally broke out. So that looks pretty nice actually, and what and how it's set up, and I'll bet you it came pretty damn close to that here on this candle here. 1812, close, no cigar, haha. But that is pretty close. I like how, again, kind of you got this gap fill up in this area here. 1822, 1825. I'm going to take some of these. In fact, I'm going to take this 1822 off. It's just right in the middle there. And we blew through and took out this kind of resistance area. I'm going to just double check it real quick. Yeah, we did have a little bit of play in there, so I guess I'll leave that one to watch it. I guess do I want to treat that as a specific zone itself with full ADR supply and demand. Photo ADR is just right below it though. It's a little bit tough pill to swallow. And you have structure there, but it just feels in the middle too, kind of where things sit on it. So I'm not entirely sure if I want to pay attention to that one too much. I think I'm going to take that off and then just note in here. To watch for divs there. And actually this one here, I do actually like where it held here overnight against I wouldn't mind seeing the zone picked up and taken just a tad bit higher though. I think that could be really interesting on how it sets up. Let's grab us more coffee here, folks. Again, I still think streaming solo. So, I'm really just talking to myself, but that's okay. Helps me get out my game plan and figure out how we're going to trade all this good, wonderful stuff. So what's below here? So you got how much? Ooh, interesting. So the orange dotties there, again, actually they're triangles in this one, but the oranges are the OpEx cheat, and they're right at the tier 1 end of week cheat as well. It's also down near full ADRs. And we have a gap fill in there in this 1791 area too, for that matter, which you can see what that maps to over on the daily. Oh, yeah. I like that. That would be a nice kind of retest off of that one there. So I would actually take this and go like that. And this monthly pivot, monthly trend guide 2 to be exact, I would actually take and hold on here to grab the 200. And I would not care about this one here at all. So I kind of like the way that one is set. I like that. So here I'm going to be kind of reserved in what we select and highlight. That really is a big zone though there. This would be really amazing if we got that. I've got, unfortunately, folks, I got to deal with something here where grabbing gap fills from something else other than what we should be, so there's obviously not a gap fill right there. But I think regardless that looks pretty nice. So GC, and then I'm gonna hit up CL. And then after that, I'm going to grab a couple other ones since our buddy Cesar is out and mark them up for the room. But I'm going to let you all go for that as we go through and check those ones out. This is a nice kind of one to view here on CL already, looking at how we've come up into that falling trend line and rejected it. I thought we'd already loaded CL, but I guess not. So sorry. So we'll run the algo on that one here real quick. And while that's running, I'm going to go back through over here and see kind of where things are setting up for the day again. So again, most all these are doing pretty well above everything. Ooh, Apple did finally come up into and tag. So we are setting up for that nice... yeah, I need to get out of here so we can go. Maybe too late already. Sorry, we'll throw some on for sim, but I think we're in. Oh crap! I forgot I was so long in sim on Friday. Okay. Since I'm prepping, I'm not entirely focused. I don't want to screw myself, but that seems like it should be nice. So CL, I'm going to ignore, actually take this here and just drag it up and make it kind of a smaller zone. Get a day VWAP just below. Excuse me. So you could watch this as one bigger zone, or just kind of treat it as two separate. I think it's probably how you want to see that. It's actually not too bad if we start here. 39. Yeah, we're going to combine these two actually. Like that. We're going to take this and drag it up a little bit so we capture the full ADRs, and go ahead and grab the photo there as well. I'm going to ignore this and just notate watch for div. Watch for div against gap fill. So I think that's how I'm going to watch CL for the day. Don't really care for, again, at some point have to get back and spend some time to look at the CL side. Still think it's carving up way too many zones. I think I have an idea as to why that is, but it's still just carving up way too many in our mind. That one there, though, is really good big zone. Like this, where we said we're going to combine that into two zones, and actually here we're going to do this. If we were to get to some extremes and trade stuff today that wide, then you could do something like that. Here you've got this one. I don't know if I care about trend guide reversal actually on this one here today, but I do care about this zone here that we said we were also carving up. You could watch for this here actually, is watch, and then if we, like that. 73, so $3. So if we're going 4 above, then we might as well point out and note this zone here. And I think that will call it for us, folks. We're going to go and focus on getting some other things prepped up for the day and watch those. So hopefully everybody has a great Monday, and we will catch y'all later. Thanks. Bye now.